The Elephant's Truth, a journey of wisdom and unity. In a small village where the winds of time had blown steadily and surely, 5 blind men stood before a creature none had ever touched. Their minds were full of wisdom, but each was about to face a truth that no amount of knowledge could prepare them for. What happens when each of them perceives only a fragment of the whole? Could their wisdom lead them to a deeper understanding, or would they remain lost in their own certainty? The village of Nyumbani had known peace for many generations, nestled between the endless plains and the foothills of the ancient mountains. Its people lived by traditions older than the trees that shaded them. But today, something new had arrived, a creature so magnificent and imposing that it sparked the curiosity of the villagers, including the 5 wise blind men who were revered for their insight. They had spent their lives mastering the art of perception, each one known for their unique way of understanding the world. But as they stood before the creature, the actual test of their wisdom was about to unfold. Little did they know that the path they were about to walk would reveal not just the limits of their sight, but the true meaning of understanding itself. Would they come together to find the full truth, or would they remain divided in their separate views? Only time and the mighty creature before them would reveal the answer. The sun rises over the village of Nyumbani, its rays casting a golden glow across the savannah. As villagers prepare for a great festival, the village is alive with bustling energy. The scent of roasted meat fills the air, and bright fabrics dance in the breeze as people decorate their homes and set up stalls for the day's celebration. In the center of the village stands an ancient baobab tree, its vast trunk spreading like the veins of the earth, its branches towering above the huts. Beneath its shadow, the elders sit in deep conversation, their faces weathered by the years but full of wisdom. The drums of the festival can be heard in the distance, a rhythmic beat that pulses like the heartbeat of the land. "Elders! Elders! The elephant is here! The great beast has arrived!" one villager shouted. The news spreads like wildfire. Young and old villagers begin to gather near the central square, their eyes wide with curiosity and wonder. Among them are 6 blind men, known across the land for their wisdom, but they have never seen an elephant before. The village has heard of it, whispered of its majesty and power, but never in their lives have they laid eyes on such a creature. The blind men, though unable to see, are known to possess insight and wisdom far beyond that of ordinary folk. Guided by their companions, they slowly make their way toward the great creature. The villagers stand in awe as a massive elephant is led into the village. It is a huge, mighty beast, its grey skin thick with age, its tusks curving upwards like ivory daggers. The men feel the ground tremble with each step it takes. The elephant's ears flap gently in the heat of the afternoon, and its trunk sways like a giant serpent, reaching toward the ground. It is truly magnificent. "The stories didn't do it justice," a villager said. "The blind men are led to the elephant by guides, each eager to touch this rare creature. They reach the elephant, their senses heightened by the coolness of its skin and the vibrations of its movement."
First blind man. This is unlike anything I have ever felt. It is solid, like a great wall, strong and unmoving.
He steps back, feeling certain in his judgment.
Second blind man. No, you are wrong. It is not a wall. It is sharp, like a spear. I can feel its points, its precision. This is no wall. This is a weapon.
Third blind man. You are both mistaken. This is not a wall or a spear. It is like a snake, long and flexible. I can feel it bend and twist as it moves.
Fourth blind man. You all speak nonsense. The elephant is strong like a tree, its roots grounded deep, its trunk a symbol of stability.
The crowd watches, some laughing quietly, others shaking their heads at the blind man's passion. The youngest blind man, the sixth, steps forward with an expression of deep thought.
Fifth blind man, you are all mistaken. The elephant is like a fan, large, wide, and flat. I feel the breeze from it. This is no wall, spear, or tree. It is a fan, cooling us in the heat.
Sixth blind man, no, you are all wrong. The elephant is like a rope, thin and flexible. I can feel it swaying in the wind, and it's like the ropes we use to tie our crops.
The blind men stand in a circle around the elephant, each holding firm to their belief, each convinced that their understanding is the only truth. The villagers look on, intrigued and amused by the sight. The argument among the blind men intensifies. The voices of the blind men rise, each man defending his viewpoint. The villagers stand back, whispering among themselves. They argue like children, but they have no way of knowing who is right. They all claim to know the truth, yet none can see. How can they decide which one is right? The villagers said. The dispute grows louder, the blind men gesturing with their hands, their voices tinged with frustration. The villagers begin to grow uneasy, sensing that the situation may spiral out of control. At this moment, an elder steps forward, his presence commanding the attention of the crowd. He is an older man with deep wrinkles and eyes full of experience. His voice, though soft, carries with it the weight of the generations.
Brothers, I hear your voices and I understand your frustrations, but you must listen. The elephant is not one thing, it is many things, and each of you has touched only one part of its truth. The elder said.
The blind men stop arguing and turn their heads toward the elder. The elder speaks slowly, his words like the wisdom of the land itself.
You each see the world in your own way. Your perceptions are shaped by your experiences, by the parts of the world that touch you. But just as this tree is made of many branches, so too is the elephant made of many truths. It is a wall, a spear, a snake, a tree, a fan, and a rope. But it is also more than just one of those things. It is the whole, not the parts.
The blind men fall silent. The elder's words sink in, and a deep sense of understanding begins to bloom within them. The villagers look to one another, sensing a change in the air. As the sun sets over Nyumbani, the village gathers under the ancient Baobab tree. The festival continues, but now there is a sense of unity, a realization among the people that truth is vast and multifaceted. The blind men, having been shown the limits of their understanding, sit together in contemplation. They do not argue anymore. They have learned that their perceptions were each partial, and that to understand the elephant fully, they must combine their viewpoints. The night falls gently over the village of Nyumbani, and the golden glow of the festival fires dances in the dark, casting long shadows across the ground. The drumming has slowed to a rhythmic pulse, and the chatter of the villagers has become a soft hum. Stars glisten above like scattered gems, their light reflected in the faces of the people who gather under the great Baobab tree. Around the fire, the 6 blind men sit together, each lost in their own thoughts. They have heard the words of the elder, and though they do not speak, their minds are swirling with new questions. The wind rustles through the branches of the tree, a reminder of the deep connection between the earth and the heavens. The young traveler, who had spoken earlier, now approaches the gathering. His presence is almost ethereal, a figure who seems to belong to both the land and the sky. He sits down beside them, offering a calm smile as he observes the silent men.
Do you understand now, my friends? The traveler said.
The blind men do not answer immediately. They glance at one another, the weight of the traveler's words still pressing on them. Finally, the first blind man speaks, his voice low but filled with resolve.
First blind man. I thought I knew. I thought I understood the elephants, but now I see that I was blind to the whole truth. My perception was but a small part of a much larger reality.
Second blind man. I have been stubborn, clinging to my belief. I felt its tusk, sharp and cold, and I thought I had grasped its nature. But the elder's words, they opened my eyes to something greater. The elephant is not just sharp, it is many things.
Third blind man. I felt the snake-like trunk, but it is more than that. The truth of the elephant is not just in its shape, but in how it interacts with the world around it. Its trunk is like a bridge, reaching out, connecting us to the world.
Fourth, blind man. The tree-like knee I touched, it felt so stable, unmovable, but now I understand. Strength alone is not enough. The elephant's power comes from its balance and its ability to bend, to grow.
Fifth, blind man. I spoke of the fan, wide and soft. I now see that my view was incomplete. The elephant's ears are not simply a means of cooling. It listens, it hears. It is a bridge between the world of the living and the world of the unseen.
Sixth blind man. The rope-like tail. It is more than a mere connection. It is a reminder that even the smallest part of the elephant plays a role. It ties everything together.
The blind men fall into a long silence, each reflecting on their newfound understanding. They have learned that what they thought was truth was merely a fragment, a piece of a much larger puzzle. They have touched the surface of the elephant, but its full nature still eludes them. The traveler watches them knowingly, his hands resting gently in his lap.
You see, the elephant is a being of many parts. It is more than just strength, more than just wisdom, more than just the body or the mind. It is all these things, and yet it is still greater than them. Your understanding is a gift, but you must now learn to combine your perceptions to see the truth, the traveler said.
The blind men listen intently, feeling the weight of the traveler's words settle over them. The firelight flickers, casting shadows that seem to dance with the very essence of the land itself.
The world is full of pieces, pieces that together form a greater whole. No one person, no single perspective can claim to see all of it. It takes many eyes, many hearts to understand the full picture. And that, my friends, is where true wisdom lies, the traveler said.
The night deepens around them, the drums of the festival now barely audible in the distance. The villagers, gathered around their fires, are beginning to feel a change in the air, a shift in the way they perceive the world. The 6 blind men, their minds now open, look at each other with a newfound respect. They may not see the elephant as the villagers do, but they have come to understand that wisdom does not lie in one perspective alone. As the fire crackles and the stars shimmer above, the blind men share a knowing look, their hearts now aligned. They have learned to listen, to combine their knowledge, and to seek the whole of the truth. The first light of dawn spills across the horizon, bathing the village of Nyumbani in a soft golden glow. The Baobab tree, ancient and unyielding, stands proud in the center of the village square, its massive roots stretching deep into the earth as if reaching for wisdom itself. The village is waking up to a new day, a day after the blind men's revelation. The drums that echoed through the night have quieted, replaced by the soft murmurs of the villagers as they prepare for the day's activities. Children laugh and play, and the women gather around the fire, preparing food. But the air is thick with anticipation, for the village is waiting for the blind men to speak. The 6 blind men, their faces worn with the weight of the night's reflection, now sit in a circle beneath the Baobab tree. The villagers, both curious and expectant, have gathered around them, eager to hear what will come of the strange experience the blind men shared with the young traveler. The elders and leaders of the village watch from the edges, whispering among themselves.
The elephant has revealed itself to them, but will they recognize its true form? The traveler said.
As the villagers settle into a semicircle, the first blind man stands, his hands shaking slightly as he adjusts the cloth that binds his eyes. His voice, usually strong and unwavering, is now gentle, almost hesitant.
First blind man, I have seen something now that I did not see before. The elephant is not just a creature of the earth. It is a creature of wisdom, of spirit. It carries the strength of our people, the roots of our traditions, the stories of our ancestors.
He pauses, searching for the right words, feeling the weight of the village's eyes upon him. The other blind men shift uncomfortably, each waiting for his words to spark something within them.
Second blind man. No, no. You are mistaken. The elephant is like a spear, sharp and focused. It is the truth that cuts through the lies, the force that stands against the storms. It does not bend to tradition. It carves its own path.
The villagers murmur, their reactions mixed. Some nod in agreement with the second blind man words, while others look to third blind man, who stands next.
Third blind man, you are both right, and yet you are both wrong. I felt the trunk of the elephant, and it is not a spear. The elephant is like a snake, long and fluid, moving with the flow of life. It is a symbol of adaptability, of the ability to shift and change with the world. The truth is not fixed, it flows, it adapts.
There is an uncomfortable silence. The villagers look from one blind man to the next, unsure of where to place their trust. Fourth blind man rises next, his voice strong and commanding.
Fourth blind man, enough of this talk of fluidity and spirits. The elephant is like a tree. Its strength lies in its roots, its foundation. It stands tall and unyielding, a symbol of endurance. You speak of flow and change, but what of the need for stability? What of the strength to stand firm when the winds of life threaten to break us?
His words hang heavy in the air, and the villagers shift uneasily, caught between the conflicting views. Fifth blind man steps forward, shaking his head.
Fifth blind man. No, you misunderstand. The elephant is like a fan. It does not stand still, nor does it cut through life like a spear. The elephant's ears are wide and open. They listen, they understand. It is the wisdom of listening, the ability to hear the voices of many and balance them against one another.
The tension grows as the last blind man, sixth blind man, rises from the ground, his eyes still covered by a cloth. He feels the air around him shift, the weight of the debate pressing down on him.
Sixth blind man. Your words are good, but there is something else. The elephant is like a rope, long and tied to the earth. It is not the strength of the tree nor the sharpness of the spear. It is a reminder that every action has a consequence, that the smallest thread can hold great power. The elephant does not act alone. It is tied to the world, to us all.
The villagers sit in stunned silence, processing the weight of the blind men's words. The elders watch, their expressions unreadable. The young traveler, who has been standing in the background, steps forward slowly, his voice calm and measured.
You see, my friends, each of you has touched only one part of the truth. The elephant is all these things. It is strength, it is flexibility, it is stability, it is listening, and it is connection. You have each experienced part of it, but none of you have seen the whole. It is only by joining your perspectives that you can truly understand the elephant. And so it is with life. Wisdom lies not in one piece, but in the coming together of all truths.
The villagers, the elders, and even the blind men themselves are left in silence, contemplating the weight of the words. The dispute that had seemed so fierce just moments ago begins to fade, replaced by a growing sense of clarity.
First blind man, you are right. We have been fighting over pieces of the truth, not seeing the whole. The elephant is not just one thing, it is everything.
The other blind men nod slowly, their faces filled with newfound understanding. The villagers, too, begin to shift, their division slowly dissolving.
Second blind man, we were wrong to claim that only one part of the truth was the whole. The elephant is greater than any of us. Together, we must listen and learn from each other.
The fire beneath the Baobab tree crackles, and for the first time, the villagers begin to see the truth in each other's words. The debate that seemed endless has finally reached a moment of peace, and the wisdom of the elephant begins to take root in their hearts. The early morning light spills over the village of Nyumbani, casting long shadows beneath the great Baobab tree. The once heated debate has faded, replaced by a stillness that fills the air with anticipation. The blind men, their hearts heavy with the weight of their earlier arguments, now sit together in a quiet circle beneath the massive branches, their faces filled with contemplation. The villagers, gathered around, are uncertain, waiting for the next step in this strange journey of understanding. The young traveler, who had first set the path into motion, now stands at the center of the circle, his gaze steady and focused. His voice is soft, yet carries a quiet authority that settles the unrest in the air.
Now that you see the many truths in the elephant, it is to him time to understand that wisdom lies not in isolation but in unity. The elephant is not just one part of itself, it is the whole. Your strength, your wisdom, your history, your adaptability, your stories, they are all part of the same great cycle of life.
The blind men shift uncomfortably, their heads bowed slightly as they reflect on their individual perceptions of the elephant. Slowly, blind man 1 begins to speak.
First blind man, I thought I had understood strength when I first touched the tree's bark, but now I see how it is connected to the roots that feed it. How could I have understood without the other perspectives?
Second blind man, I had seen only the sharpness of the spear, but now I understand how the strength of the tree is shaped by its foundation. How could I not have seen the beauty in the adaptability of the elephants?
Third blind man, I thought the elephant was fluid like a snake, but now I understand that it is only through all parts working together that its wisdom takes shape.
Fourth, blind man. It is in the roots and the branches, the past and the future. The stories of the tree's wisdom are endless, but they are carried only by the strength of the trunk, the stability of the roots, and the grace of the leaves.
The villagers listen intently, their eyes wide with awe as the realization spreads through the crowd. Blind man 5 rises slowly, his hands gesturing softly as he speaks.
Fifth, blind man. It is in the balance of strength, flexibility, and listening. We must become as the elephant, not just one part, but all parts. The wisdom is in the coming together of the many perspectives.
The traveler nods approvingly, turning toward the gathered villagers, who have listened silently to the blind men's reflections.
You see, friends, the world is filled with many truths, but each truth is only a piece of a greater whole. Just as the elephant cannot be described by one part alone, neither can our understanding of life, of wisdom, or of each other. It is only through sharing our views and joining in the harmony of our differences that we can uncover the richness of the world.
The villagers exchange glances, a quiet understanding spreading among them. Elder Kofi steps forward, his once hard gaze now softened.
Elder Kofi, we were too quick to claim ownership of the truth. Each of us has seen part of it, but only together can we see the whole.
The villagers begin to nod, one by one, their division melting away like mist in the morning sun. They move toward each other, extending hands in friendship and understanding, while the blind men share a quiet, unified smile. As the drums begin to sound in the distance, signaling the arrival of a new day, the Baobab tree, steadfast and silent, stands as a symbol of all they have learned. It is strength and history, adaptability and wisdom. It is the union of all that has come before and all that is yet to come. The sun begins to set, casting a warm orange glow over the village of Nyumbani. The Baobab tree, now silent and steadfast, stands as a living monument to the wisdom gained over the course of the day. The once divided villagers now move together in harmony, their differences forgotten in the light of the great lessons they have shared. The blind men, having walked their own path of realization, now stand side by side, each of them humbled by the journey they have undergone. Their individual perspectives have shaped their understanding, but it is their willingness to see beyond themselves that has led to true wisdom. The young traveler, who set the stage for this journey, now prepares to leave the village. His task has been completed, and the wisdom he sought to share has taken root. Before he leaves, he stands once more beneath the Baobab tree, looking out over the village that now stands united. The elder leaders of the village, along with the villagers, gather around him, their faces filled with gratitude.
Elder Kofi, you have opened our eyes to the greater truth. The elephant was never just a single thing, and neither are we. We have learned that wisdom comes not from isolation, but from connection, from understanding that the pieces of truth fit together, not apart.
Remember this, my friends. The journey of understanding is never truly finished. Wisdom is not a destination. It is a path we walk together with open hearts and open minds, the young traveler said.
The young traveler steps back, preparing to leave, but before he goes, he looks up at the great Baobab tree, its branches stretching far into the sky. It is as if the tree itself is watching over them, a reminder that wisdom is as vast as the world itself, and that every part of it is interconnected. The villagers, now united, look to one another, their hands clasped in friendship. The blind men, their hearts lighter than ever, stand together, their once divided souls now whole. The Baobab tree, a symbol of endurance and unity, stands as a testament to their shared journey. As the night falls, the villagers begin to dance and sing around the Baobab tree, their laughter echoing into the darkness. It is a celebration of unity, wisdom, and the endless journey that lies ahead. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening adventure. If you've enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss another tale of wisdom, growth, and discovery. Remember, wisdom is a journey, not a destination. We hope to continue walking this path with you. Until next time, keep seeking, keep learning, and keep growing.